inducted to the National Honor Society is truly special. It represents a deeper commitment towards both the pursuit of the good of others and the pursuit of good within yourself. By working alongside other young men who aspire towards the same values, NHS provides an opportunity for personal growth by focusing on and fostering community growth. Everyone in NHS challenges each other to be men of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Before I know it, I will no longer be a student at CN, and subsequently I will not be a member of the National Honor Society. And so I want to take this opportunity to voice the impact that being a member of NHS has had on me, and the impact I hope it has on all its future members, especially the inductees here today. The stress on the 4 pillars, especially service, have led me to be more of a man for others than I was prior to joining. Service opportunities such as helping with senior citizen dances or assisting in sorting donations from cradles to crayons have not only shown me how easy service can be, but also how impactful it can be. I believe this translates to the CN community as well, whether that is doing extra tutoring hours or cleaning up someone else's mess in the comments. I hope all the current members and potential future members choose to challenge yourselves to grow in leadership, scholarship, character, and service, because you truly get out what you put in. Joining the National Honor Society requires true excellence in these 4 pillars of the organization: leadership, service, character, and scholarship. Today we will hear from 4 members of the National Honor Society who will share their wisdom on each of these pillars with our new members. After they speak, each member will light a candle on stage. These candles represent the 4 pillars of the NHS, and when all 4 are lit, we will be ready to formally induct our newest members. I'd like to begin with an introduction to our speaker on scholarship, Graham Horwitz. Senior Graham Horwitz is our basketball captain, leader of the CM Club, and captain for Corinthians. As Coach Nolan said, over the past 4 years, I have watched Graham strive for excellence in all areas of student life. Whether it is in the classroom, donating his time for community service, excelling in speech and debate, or as a 4-year varsity basketball player, captain of this year's team. Graham is the epitome of what a student athlete should be. Graham, welcome to the stage.
Good morning and welcome parents, faculty, and students. As you've just heard from Jack, my name is Graham and this is my 5th and final year at Catholic Memorial, and I'm here today to talk to you about the pillar that has been fundamental to me, scholarship. To help you understand the importance of this defining aspect of my life, I'd like to share with you a family story that I have heard countless times. In 1975, a brutal civil war broke out in Lebanon, where my grandparents were living with my mom and her older sister. Knowing this environment was near uninhabitable and not safe for their 2 kids as they're on the way, in 1976, my grandparents moved to the United States. Unfortunately, they lost a lot of their belongings in the process. They landed in an unfamiliar country with very little other than each other and their minds. What they realized, however, is that that was all they needed. With my grandfather's medical license from Lebanon, he was able to support his family by working as a doctor, while my grandmother supported the young family by taking care of them, even as they lived in a motel. It's often at this point in the retelling my grandfather, with his thick Middle Eastern accent, drops his famous quote: "The 2 most important things in life are your family and your mind." Had it not been for these 2 things, their story and my story today would be quite different. Every time I hear this anecdote, I'm inspired not only by my grandparents' bravery, but by that very quote. And it's had a profound impact on me in school and in my life. While I can confidently say that family is the most important thing for me, in the theme of what I was supposed to speak on today, I'll be focusing on the other facet of the quote: your mind. In my time here at Catholic Memorial, trying to follow my grandparents' lessons, I initially thought that becoming a scholar and making my mind the best version of itself required me to give my academic classes everything I have to earn the grades that I want. And while I do recommend the pursuit of academic excellence to others, what I've come to realize is that grades, memorization, and learning from books is certainly required for education, but is not the essence of scholarship. challenge our preconceived notions are all scholarship, because in the end, we may not know everything, but we have the power to be able to question and teach ourselves whatever it is that we want. And frankly, it is empowering to do this. It is incredible to understand that we can learn and do anything it is we want, because we have the ability to mold our minds and become true scholars. Especially so because, in the wise words of my grandfather, that power can never be taken away. I challenge everyone here to be true scholars, to ask the hard questions, to push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, and to simply be curious and pursue whatever it is the knowledge we may seek. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Next, I'd like to introduce Junior Parker Kemp. Parker is a captain of our speech and debate team, as well as a member of the lacrosse team and the robotics club. As his speech coach, Brother Cabot, says, as a team captain, he is asked for immediate help. He observes situations ahead of time, works out smart solutions, and puts them in place, all in the service of others. Parker, welcome to the stage.
Good morning, boys. Here at CM, we are called to be leaders in every aspect of our lives. On the field, in the classroom, and in our external communities. But knowing how exactly to lead can be difficult. In my time as a leader, I've struggled a lot. But my struggles have shown me the two most important ways to lead. Through your words and through your actions. Today, I first want to tell you about a time I led through my words. Then I want to tell you about a time I led through my actions. And finally, I want to tell you what all of this means for you. When most people think of a good leader, they think of the empowering speeches that a good leader gives. The fiery words and impactful words that they use to motivate people. But my time as a leader has taught me that that's not entirely what being a leader is about. Being a good leader is more in the subtlety of your words. My most important times as a leader come mainly from motivating people who need it the most. The nervous kid before their final round, and speech. Speech is a time where I find myself being a leader. When I am at speech, leadership is important. And when I lead at speech, I find myself helping those who need it the most. I find myself helping those who need it the most. The nervous kid before their final round, the kid who has never made it to finals, who's feeling down on themselves, the kid who is about to go on stage to receive an award for the first ever time. Leading through your words is about helping those around you. Next, being a good leader is all about leading through your actions. Leading through your actions is all about setting the right example for those around you. At the start of high school, I made a promise to myself that I would not leave the Kennedy Commons until my table was clean, regardless of whether it was my mess or not. At first, this seemed like a small step. Some of my friends who just wanted to go run threes in the gym gave me a hard time. But as time went on, it grew into a habit. I began to feel a sense of pride, knowing that I was making my school a better place. And slowly, those around me started to follow. This small promise I made to myself helped me grow into a leader by leading through example, while also making my community a better place. So what does all of this mean for you? It means every single one of you has the ability to lead. Whether it's a letter on a captain's jersey, if you hold a title or not. Leadership is found in the way that you treat people, in the extra effort that you put in when no one is watching, and and in the quiet moments when someone needs a voice of encouragement. Most importantly, leadership is a choice. Leadership is all about consistency. It's a choice you make every day. In the way you interact with your teammates, your classmates, your family, and your community. So I challenge all of you. Lead with your words and lead with your actions. Be the person who lifts others up. Be the example that others want to follow. Because at the end of the day, leadership isn't about a title or about a speech that you butcher, but it's about the impact that you leave behind. Thank you.
experience at CM, I'm also seeing those results pay off. Next year, I'll be playing college football at Norwich University. I also earned a substantial academic scholarship. I was also admitted to an honors program at Norwich. I don't mention these things to boast about my future, but rather to show you that you don't have to be the best at anything to find success. You just have to realize when you are the best and take the necessary steps to achieve those. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Next up, I'll be introducing Junior Luke Roberto. Luke is a member of our Speech A team, a Model UN member, and a part of the Robotics Club. As Mr. Palm said, Luke's knowledge of what we do at CM, his passion for sharing his experiences, his ability to connect with others, and his ability to invite others in is just awesome. He's the kind of kid who will give of his time with a smile on his face. Luke, welcome to the stage.
Last year, I was in the chapel one day and I got a text. It said, "Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. Just got word that the Cabreras received their final certificate of occupancy and are moving in." This was a very rewarding message to receive. I've gone on mission trips to Florida and Mississippi the past 2 summers. In 2023, the summer after freshman year, we rebuilt a house destroyed by a flood for a family in Central Florida. I spent the week with about a dozen other guys and girls working on this home. It was exhausting work, extremely hot, but a lot of fun. When we arrived at the house on Monday, there was no floor. We walked up the concrete steps, opened the door, and there was nothing to stand on. There wasn't even plywood. We had to crawl in the joists to look at what we were going to be doing. We began by laying subfloor, then worked our way up to drywall. My friends and I were happy with the work we were doing that week, because we knew how much of a difference it was going to make. You don't realize what you have until it's not there, especially when what's not there is the floor. As we began work that week, we also worked on some small projects, one of which was to restore an old picnic table in the backyard. We've been working all week, but after Thursday morning, the work took on even more meaning. The family came to meet us. It was an older grandfather who didn't speak English, his daughter, and her daughter, who was our age. These were real people. The mother was working 2 jobs, and the daughter was a high school softball player. By looking at their faces, you'd have no idea that their house had been underwater. This family was just so happy to see us there. The mother kept saying, "Thank you, thank you." Our service was the source of joy for her and her family. The impact of our service became real to me just before the family left. We didn't know where the grandfather went. When we looked in the backyard, he was sitting there, under the tree, on that picnic table we had fixed, with a big smile on his face. He couldn't speak English, could barely walk, and his house was destroyed, but he was smiling. Fixing that picnic table was certainly not a waste of time. It was the little things that week that went a long way. This moment made me think about what we were really doing. It was not just about helping these people get back into their house. It was about giving them hope that there were people out there willing to care for them and help them, and most of all, hear their story. We left that day feeling so good about the work we were doing. When we left to Florida at the end of the week, the house just needed some final electrical and plumbing work. And a few short months later, I received that text. That trip was one of the best weeks of my life. I was in Florida with 50 of my best friends. And even though we weren't on the beach, it didn't feel like a sacrifice. We were happy because we knew the real difference that our service was making for that family. Service can be a great way to grow closer to your friends and put your skills to use. At its core, service brings immense joy for both the giver and the receiver. And you don't have to work in the summer heat of Central Florida to figure that out. I didn't realize it at the beginning, but what we were doing for that family was far more than laying subfloor, far more than installing insulation or putting up drywall. What we were doing that week was restoring hope to the lives who had lost it all. And that is what service is all about. Thank you.
Society here at CM. It is with great pleasure that I ask the following new members to come forward to receive their certificate as a symbol of their commitment to the ideals of the NHS. Now, would Principal O'Brien and Mr. Sarko please step forward and help with the distribution of certificates. Students and parents, please repeat your applause until all of the students have received recognition. Then, collectively, we will applaud all our new members. Our new junior members, Will Berlucci, Wesley Cherry, Connor Clifford, Jack Dunham, Ryan Noonan, Seamus Henry, Parker Kemp, William Lightfoot, William Link V, Andrew McDonald's, Elias Mansour, Jai Marashi Curran, Carson McCarthy, Seamus Olahan, Luke Roberto, Liam Romano, Thomas Sarr, Andrew Savage, Seamus Stanley, Andrew Schwerk, Matthew Small, Andrew Spagnola, Charles Stanton, Jason Sullivan, Michael Upton, David Van Dyke, Khalid Williams, Brian Lukic. Our new senior members, John Ovenshine, Luke Long, Alexander Mankiewicz, Prince Johnson, McKinley Pierre, Colin Witt.
When I call your name, please stand and match your seat. With the audience, please refrain from clapping until the names are called. Jack Bailey, Jack Berry, Mateo Benson, Gus Bernard, Gregory Boyle, Armin Bergen, John Burns, Gavin Carey, Jonathan Shelley, Gavin Church, Ryan Coughlin, Griffin Conlon, Jack Daly, Sean Doback, Rudolph DeMeo,
and thank you so much to Ms. Lozano and Mr. Zarco and the NHS Society for inviting me to speak to you all today. It's truly an honor to be asked. Per Mrs. Lozano's instructions, I'm here to talk about excellence. My first thought was, wow, I'm going to go find some of that. To quote the Greek philosopher Socrates, I only know that I know nothing. And that is the truth. When I think back on the wonderful upbringing and education that I've been blessed to have, a lesson from my mom really stands out. That lesson is that you never want to be the smartest person in the room. Meaning that if you're the smartest in the room, you're not being challenged. Some of you are sitting there thinking, nah, the goal is definitely to be the smartest guy in the room. But think about the dangers of that. If you're the smartest person in the room, what you really ought to go do is find better people. Strive to surround yourself with people who challenge you. Friends who push you to be the best version of yourself. And teachers who chirp you when you're slacking because they know what you're capable of. This lesson really struck home for me when I entered college and decided to study Latin and Greek, not having taken them in high school. My first day of introduction to ancient Greek, the professor cheerfully reassured the nervous class by saying, "Don't worry, Greek looks exactly like Latin. You guys all know Latin, you'll be totally fine." I, at the time, knew absolutely no one. Very, very quickly, it was clear that I was far from the smartest person in the room. So I did what I really saw was the only option, and I put in a crazy amount of work. But more importantly, I made incredible friends who did, in fact, know a lot about it, and I leaned on them for support. I was guided by my passion and love for the ancient world, but I could not have made it without my friends. Every single one of whom, I have no shame to say, is a lot smarter than I am. I worked really hard on my own to get there, but the ability to go to friends and say, "Hey, I read this passage of the Iliad like 5 times, and I still don't get it," made those long nights in the library that much more enjoyable. So take the challenging classes. Sign up for the hard professors. Go after subjects in life that excite you. During my junior year at college abroad, my friends and I went to a festival in one of the many parts of the city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Somehow I got separated from the group and wound up talking to some locals around my age who were discussing books and films. While listening to them share their deep insights into cinema and literature, I felt stuck without anything interesting to say. They had all these grand ideas about the meaning of art, why we as humans have a desire to tell stories, and I had none. Rather than kick me out of the conversation for being uncultured and ignorant, he gave me a bunch of great recommendations and encouraged me to share my thoughts. By overcoming the discomfort of not being the smartest in the room, I got to experience a conversation that's had a lasting impact on how I consume art and culture today. I encourage you to seek out conversations like this, ones where you feel like you're in over your head, or are eager to learn and broaden your worldview. Now, in my 7th year of teaching, I look back on how far I've come, how much I've learned, how my classes have improved, but yet, still how far I feel I have to go. To be an excellent teacher is not a cut and dry milestone to achieve and cross off the list, but rather one that I work at every day. There are plenty of times day to day, particularly with my AP students or in a morning scholar seminar, where I simply don't feel like the smartest person in the room. I really love those moments when my students show me that I'm wrong, when they suggest a different reading of the Latin text, or disagree with my stance on the topic. Finding a community of thinkers, people who challenge your assumptions, who push you to think of things differently, help you grow, all these things leave a lasting impact on who you are as a man. So I leave you with these words. The brain, just like the other parts of your body, only grows when you train. In the same way that your muscles grow under stress, your brain will grow with pressure, accepting that you're not the smartest in the group, but striving to be, working to push yourself forward, to reach for excellence, and to be the best version of yourself. And if somehow you do find yourself as the smartest person in the room, do the hard work of finding a different room, one that allows you to grow and develop your many talents. Congrats to all the inductees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clark, for those great words. And now we are ready to conclude this year's National Honor Society. So my name is Mrs. Corsano, together with Mr. Starko, I'm the moderator of the National Honor Society. And before we leave today, we want to take a few minutes and thank a few people who helped make today's ceremony possible. We owe a debt of gratitude to our faculty selection committee, who put so much time and effort into reading all of the NHS applications. To our CM staff in the front office, IT, and so many logistics for today's event. To Dr. Monroe, who kindly provided our musical accompaniments. And to the students and families being honored this morning. To our newest members, congratulations. And to the rest of the CM community, thank you for your attention and respect during today's ceremony. As a school community, it is so important that we pause to recognize excellence when we see it. Excellence is something that we can all strive for. And I hope as we leave today that we all strive for excellence in things big and small. In just a moment, the NHS members will recess out, and Mr. O'Brien will dismiss the rest of the student body. Parents, after the rest of the student body returns to class, the NHS members will return to the gym to be available for pictures. With this,